Okay, we're going to have a look at how we would sync audio with a movie file. Now, digital SLRs, their internal mics are very poor and record quite bad quality. So you would need to use an external recording device to give better sound quality, such as a Zoom recorder. Now, you would bring them into Premiere, sync them together, and then delete the audio track from the movie file, which is the reference file, and then just replace that with the higher quality. And the issue is you need to get it synced so they're both joined together properly. Okay, so when you do have your files off a digital SLR, in this case the Nikon 5100, it comes in here as a MOV file, and then if you get stuff off your Zoom recorder or your tracks, you've got WAV files. Now what I've done here in this example, I've just got the movie clip. I've given it a name. It's obviously I've changed it as an MPEG. Ideally, you'd have movie files, but this file is that's just for this exercise. And then we've got our Zoom file that we're going to bring in. Now we open up Premiere. I'm going to start a new project. Again, this screen, you need to browse, and I'm going to save my project inside my movie project folder. So it's going to save it in there. I'm going to give it a title. I'm going to call it sound test. Okay, so it's going to be a sound test. Everything else is fine. We'll just click OK on that. Now when we come in here, which again we've seen this before, is you match your video footage to what you took it on, and the DPI, and also the frames per second. So probably normally you would probably going for a digital SLR, and you're probably doing it at 1080p at 25 frames. Now in this exercise, my footage is 720p, so I would go for that. Now I want to do it 25 frames, but it doesn't have 25 frames on here. So I can amend that by going up to the settings and going up to the top here and changing it to 25 frames. So you can amend some of these settings. These are only presets for the sequence, but they're not set in stone. You can do them from scratch or amend the presets. Now also down the bottom you might find the sample rate. Sample rate's coming up here of 48, and that's just to match high quality footage with high quality sound. So make sure this matches what you've done on the Zoom. I have matched it on the Zoom and recorded my footage at 48 at 16. You can do it 24, but do it at 16. That'll be fine. So 48, 16, so they all match. Okay, once you've done that, you click OK, and it will create your sequence and open up Premiere. Now once it opens up, I'm going to bring in my two files. I'm going to just drag them into the project panel. Here they are, which is the sound and the video clip. Okay, now they're both in there. Now there's different ways. If you try and find out how to sync sound, there's lots of ways that people say. They say drag your footage onto the timeline, then drag the file you want to sync. Then all you do then is zoom in on it and keep on zooming in, and what you're doing is expanding it, both of those files here and here, and again you keep on zooming in and zooming in until you can see both of the waveforms on there. And then what you do is you move them around and drag them along until you get them to match. Again, you could zoom in a bit more and try and get those to match up. Now that's one way that people tell you to do it. Sometimes people say come along and you go up to the top here, at the top right, and you change show audio time units, and then that sort of has a different display, which again you can sort of keep on zooming in, and then again with the selection moving it until they match. Now it might be the case that they just don't match because, or it's very hard to see a match because mainly you've got such quite poor quality audio on the clip, and probably a lot better quality in the Zoom or the other device you've used, and sometimes it's very hard to see how similar they are, so that can be an issue. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just delete these from here. Now another way you can do it is by using some of the help that Premiere gives you. One is sequencing and the other one is sort of matching it to markers or mark points. So first up, I'll just sort of double click on the clip here to bring it into the source window up here. Now what happens when you have this is you have a clapper board usually, or a hand clap, and we come along here and this is a bit of a clap and we need to find where that is. Now we could find it on here and just put our marker on there, but what we can do up at the top of the source window is we can change it to audio waveform, and this gives us the waveform so we can see it in more detail. And then down at the bottom of the bar we drag that to the left and zoom in and keep on zooming in until it stops. And around about here, this should be the actual hand clap or clapper board. So what we're doing is coming along, and I'll just do it there. So that's going to be my marker point. So I click on the marker point on that. Now I'll just change that back to the video, and then I'll just double click on the zoom footage for the audio, the high quality audio. Right, so we'll do the same thing again. There's our clap. So if we come along, so I just do it there, that's when it hit on the clap, and I can just put the marker on there. So now we've got two lots of markers. If we go up and change, we've got one on the movie clip over here, which is good, and then we've got the one on the high quality sound. So we've got those two marker points. Now what we can do is go down here and shift click, and we can then right mouse click, and you can come down and we can say merge clips. Now when it comes up, it's saying merge clips with the clip marker, and then it's saying remove audio when we've done that. So it's coming along saying remove audio, so that will remove the one that's the composite one that got recorded through the camera. So if we just click OK to that, and what it's done is merged them and given us this clip here, which should have the high quality sound that it's put on it, and deleted the composite one that was recorded from the camera. Okay, once I've done that, I'll double click on that, and I'll just come up here, rewind right back in the source window.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Okay, so there we've got it sort of synced up. Now if I click on that and drag it down to the timeline.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Now it's put it in the timeline, and the issue being here is that, you know, it's all linked up. What it's done, it's put the two tracks here separate. What does happen is when you merge down, it actually creates two separate mono tracks rather than our stereo track that just was in an audio track. So that is a little bit of an issue when you do something like that. Sure, again, you can shift click all three of those, and you can link them all together, but you may have issues because you've got two mono tracks. Now the other thing you would obviously do is you would come along here and come after the clap, and then you would have to clean that up by probably doing a slice with the razor on that, and then getting rid of those parts so it's all cleaned up. All right. Okay, so that's that way, and we'll look at another way and another couple of different ways of doing that to find a more straightforward way. Okay, this time we'll just open this up. I'll just get rid of the old marker that's on here. I've got this, I've got my track, so I need to find where my point is. So I go to the top as we did before, get the waveform. I would then zoom in again on here. Take it back with the arrow keys. Right, okay, and then I put a marker on there. Then I would double click on the actual high quality audio. I'll just get rid of the old marker and do this again. What would happen, take it back. Okay, that's the point, put a marker on there. Now once the two markers are on there, all I would need to do is drag my movie clip with its associated composite sound file from the camera, and then drag the high quality one underneath. Now I'll just drag these tracks a little bit away from the beginning of the start of the timeline to just give them some space to move around. Now I've got these and they've got the markers on there, and as you can see they're out of sync. Now if I shift clicked all three of them, I right mouse click again, and this time I bring synchronize. I click on synchronize. Now if you had time codes on there, that'd be fine, and if they were properly chopped to the crop so they were exactly the same in length, then using a clip start and clip end might help you, and if there's time code they'll be there. But I haven't got those things, so what I'm going to go for is clip marker, which I have. I've just set that up in the source window, and I click OK. Now what that will do then is line up those markers on there, and if I zoom in a bit, you'll see it should have those all lined up. So now when I do the clip,
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
okay, there it is. And then finally the last thing would be to come up here and then chop those off by razoring those, going through, and then just deleting the first bits and getting rid of them. And now what I need to do is right mouse the movie clip. I need to unlink, and once I've unlinked I would just click on that, delete it, and then move the high quality soundtrack up, and finally shift click them both and link them.
Why don't you do something to help somebody?
Okay, so that's probably the optimum and probably the best way of doing it, and this maintains the audio as a stereo track rather than separating it when you merge the high quality audio with the composite and the video together.